finally, let's talk briefly about one more compounder, Daily Journal Co. We have done more research on Daily Journal Co. than anyone else in the world outside of the company. There is enormous financial statement value. It has exceptional management. It is a wonderful business model, and it's completely misunderstood and totally undervalued. I have posted several videos on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. You can find the videos there that explain our thesis and how we researched this for years. So I'll be brief here, but I encourage you to watch those if you do want a little more detail. In brief, after attending many years of the annual meeting in Los Angeles to see Munger speak, he began mentioning software in his opening remarks in just a word or two. But nobody I could find, I know a lot of people in that room, nobody had any idea what they were building. So I found a customer training conference in Utah. I took a flight, I booked a room, and I proceeded to converse with the customers in the lobby over a 3-day period. And we obtained incredible insight. Daily Journal, a small newspaper firm in Los Angeles, was not a newspaper company at all. They were providing court software solutions for the justice system on a 10-year contracts, gaining 10-year contracts all across America. Further, I learned that the RFP process and the technology development process for each courthouse was taking 4 to 7 years to implement, and they were not billing their customers until post go live. That means that Daily Journal had a pipeline of large, sticky revenue that was completely missing from their financial statements. And nobody knew anything about it. They just hadn't billed the customer. And further, while the revenue was yet to arrive, the financial statements did include all of the embedded costs of this startup-like operation. So you can't get a very good idea about what's going to happen by just reading the financial statements. This entity would not screen well at all. But similar to the hard work we did on valuing all the properties at Seritage, we started on the West Coast, and for months we studied the 3,300 counties across America. We read city council meeting minutes. We read, the request for proposals, anything we could find that we could find mentioning Daily Journal or one of their products like eSuites that would suggest that a county might have a relationship with Daily Journal. And we found through this method over 100 contracts. We learned at the time that LA owed them $5 million, Austin owed them $1 million, and we found a contract in Australia for $89 million. And that's just the beginning. So to show you how inexpensive this high quality firm is, I'm going to quickly remind you of the 3 parts of this micro cap. It's a $370 million business that's been run by Charlie Munger for 43 years and his 300 carefully handpicked employees. There's a newspaper business and it makes money. The revenue's around 11 million a year. We value it at 0 just to be overly conservative. There's an equity portfolio run by Charlie Munger with a value of about $350 million. And if we add up the cash and real estate and subtract this very unique debt, like the deferred capital gains tax that has 0 interest and no maturity, or their margin loan, which has a rate of 2.25%, the net assets here are $220 million. So this leaves us with a debt-free software entity earning tens of millions in sticky recurring revenue that make up the remainder of this portfolio. So in the videos online, I explain in detail that Daily Journal Co. can grow their revenues to 100 million by the year 2030, and with a very sticky revenue from these long contracts, these governmental contracts. And that the Journal Technology subsidiary alone could be worth $1 billion or more. So we're incredibly fortunate to have this exceptional holding as one of our core compounders. And I'm pleased to say that today we also own 0.5% of this business. We own 0.5% of the equity portfolio, of the software, and of the newspapers. And so I'll show you their portfolio for a moment, and then I'm going to elaborate on one aspect that I think is confusing a few people at the moment. So this is the current stock portfolio inside a Daily Journal. And if you think about it for a moment, with their cash, real estate, and assets managed by Munger, DJCO is the portfolio inside of DJCO is now larger than the market cap of the entire firm. How can this be? I mean, oh, they have debt. I mean, that's the common consideration. Well, they have this debt that's being inflated out of existence. The weighted average cost of their debt is 1.1%. They pay less than $2 million annually in interest, and the dividends from their investment portfolio service the entire debt obligation. So it's extraordinary how cheap this company trades right now. Some of you may have read the book 100 Beggars, and it talks very specifically about firms that have the ability to compound and earn investors 100 times their original investment. It would turn $10,000 into $1 million. DJCO is already almost a 200 bagger, and it's currently selling for below its liquidation value. Now, I mentioned that you can't really understand what's happening just by looking at the financial statements. What people are missing about the business is that the revenue right now appears slower than reality because they have strategically discontinued the JustWare product line. They are encouraging customers to upgrade from JustWare to their eSuite products. And this action temporarily eliminates 6 to 8 million in annual revenues. And Journal Technologies is only earning about 34 million. So if they deliver anything close to 34 million this year, that would suggest that the eSuite product is on track for 20% plus growth, and this can accelerate. So don't think of last year's revenue as 34 million. The current product line was earning about 26 to 28. So you can figure out better growth estimates if you're looking at a consistent set of products. Finally, I will mention that Charlie Munger recently appointed a new CEO, Stephen Myhill-Jones. I had the honor of meeting with him over a Zoom call this summer. And in fact, I was told that it was the first meeting with an outside shareholder after he joined the firm. So he is obviously a fantastic leader, very smart and motivated. And Charlie has called him whip smart, full of energy, exactly the kind of leader we need at Daily Journal and Journal Technologies to take our business into the future. And as a side note, as Steve and I were being introduced via email, I was quite honored that he responded saying, yes, I'm familiar with Matthew Peterson's report. Indeed, it was a resource that helped inform my decision to join Daily Journal some months back. So I'm really pleased to see that our research is providing this type of unexpected value for our holdings. It's phenomenal.